All right, the last one is the tangent. So remember yesterday I told you for some of these you're going to want to change your scales. Okay, so for number 1, the period is pi over 3. That's because for tangent and cotangent, it's pi over b. So this is pi over 3. Identify the x-intercepts. The x-intercept equation, I wrote that on the board. Okay, to do the x-intercept equation, all you have to do is find one of the x-intercepts on the graph, and then you add that to the period times n. Okay? So when you're doing the x-intercepts for a tangent, they are negative pi, 0, and pi. All you have to do is multiply those by the reciprocal of b. So 1 over b. So in this case, your b value is 3. So the reciprocal is 1/3. So negative pi times 1/3, negative pi over 3. 0 times anything is 0, and this will be pi over 3. So then you can go ahead and put those on your graph once you scale it. And then the asymptotes for tangent have a special equation. So it's pi over 2b plus pi over b times n. So this is pi over 6 plus pi over 3n. Okay? For the asymptotes, you can plug in the 1, the 0, the negative 1 to find your other asymptotes. Okay? But for the x-intercepts, use the reciprocal because that will always work. Now, I changed my scale because this was pi over 3. Here I had pi over 6. So I went by pi over 6's. If you didn't change your scale, okay, or you went by something different, yours might not look exactly like mine, but these are the values where you should be, have an x-intercept, and these are where your asymptotes should be. Remember that tangent goes up from left to right. Up from left to right. Okay, and then number 2 is also a tangent, except your b value is pi over 2. When your b value is pi over 2, there are going to be some cancellations. So your period is 2. Okay, your x-intercepts are negative 2, 0, and 2, because you have to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 2 over pi. Okay, and then your asymptotes are at 1 plus 2n. So when you plug in your values, negative 1, 0, and 1, you get 1, 3, and negative 1. So I made my scale by ones. I went 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So again, if you use the scale that was on there, or if you chose a different scale, then our graphs might look a little bit different. Again, this is going up from left to right. For cotangent, this is going down from left to right. Okay, and the scale they gave you was fine. Your period is pi because your b value is 1. When you multiply by the reciprocal, if you multiply by 1, you get the same numbers. Okay, the asymptotes for cotangent are pi over b. So this is just pi n. So your asymptotes are at negative pi, 0, and pi. Alright, and then for 4, if you have x over 2, your b value is 1/2. Okay, so when you do pi divided by 1/2, you get 2 pi, that's your period. Your x-intercepts, the reciprocal of 1/2 is 2, so you multiply them all by 2, okay, which is going to give you negative 2 pi, 0, and 2 pi. So your x-intercepts are 0 plus 2 pi n, or 2 pi n. Okay, the asymptotes, these cancel, so you just get pi. Here, when you multiply by the reciprocal, you get 2 pi n. Okay, and then your asymptotes are at pi, 3 pi, and negative pi. We didn't have 3 pi on our graph, but that's okay. You do have this part that you have to graph. And this is tangent, so you're going up from left to right. Okay, and then we're going to do 5 together. So when you're finding your period, remember, you're just doing pi over your b value. So if your b value is 1/2, okay, pi over 1/2 is 2 pi. Okay, then from there, you're going to find your x-intercepts. What you want to do is use the x-intercepts for cotangent. Are you guys getting pretty good at remembering what those are?
Yeah.
If not, you will have the parent function, so you can always look at the parent function to see what you have. But you will have to remember to multiply by the reciprocal, which in this case is 2. Okay, so this is going to be, these cancel, so you have negative pi, here you have pi, here you have 6 pi over 2, which is 3 pi. Okay, so this looks like it's going to be a good scale for us. So I have negative pi, pi, 3 pi. So these are happening every 2. So every 2 I have an x-intercept. Okay? Then for the asymptotes, if it's cotangent, it's pi over bn. So this is going to be pi over 1/2 times n, which is 2 pi n. Okay, so this is where you plug in the 0, the 1, the negative 1. If you plug in negative 1, you get negative 2 pi. If you plug in 0, you get 0. And if you plug in 1, you get 2 pi. Guys, I need you to stay with me. I know. Okay, and then you're going to put your asymptotes in. And then remember, when you are doing cotangent, from right to left, it should be going in what direction? Yeah. So this is going up, and then this part's going down. This part here should be going up. This is going up. This part's going down. And then this part, you're just going to see the downward part. Now for your x-intercept, just pick any one of these. Okay, so pi is fine. And then plus the period, which is 2 pi times n. That would be your equation. Okay? Alright, and then you guys can check your answers to number 6. So you won't have that on your quiz. I took anything that was secant or cosecant off of your quiz in your review.